Recognizing the member from Boundary-Similkameen, a member just to advise you have 7 minutes for your remarks.
Thank you very much. I rise today in support of Bill M208, the Emergency and Disaster Management Amendment Act 2025, which proposes a simple but powerful addition to Section 6 of the Emergency and Disaster Management Act. This bill directs the minister to establish a committee to support the development of a new provincial organization, the BC Volunteer Corps. At first glance, it may look like just a few lines of legal text, but for people in my riding of Boundary-Similkameen, this change could make a world of difference the next time disaster strikes. The BC Volunteer Corps will encourage and facilitate volunteerism in support of emergency preparedness, response, and recovery. It will create a centralized platform where individuals can access training and volunteer opportunities throughout British Columbia. This is an idea whose time has come, and I can tell you firsthand how badly it is needed. In 2021, the communities of Tulameen, Colmont, and Princeton were devastated by flooding. An atmospheric river in November flooded homes, businesses, and community infrastructure. This was followed by a cold snap that caused even more damage as homes underwater started to freeze. Many homes were damaged, lives were uprooted, and in that moment of crisis, something remarkable happened. People stepped up. Neighbors helped neighbors. Strangers arrived with shovels, food, and water. Volunteers filled sandbags, delivered supplies, and opened their homes. But despite the outpouring of support, one thing was missing: coordination. Volunteers wanted to help, but didn't know where to go. Many groups and the town office stepped up and tried to keep up, but there was no centralized system for neighboring communities to register. No official way to match skills with needs. People were willing and able to help, but did not want to add to the confusion by just showing up without knowing what was needed. I'm told the same thing happened during the Grand Forks flood in 2018. Across BC in rural communities, emergency services are stretched thin, and volunteerism isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. It's part of our lifestyle in rural BC. That's where this bill comes in. The BC Volunteer Corps will be much more than a volunteer list. It will be a centralized hub for recruiting, training, and deploying volunteers across BC. Under the direction of the minister responsible, it will coordinate with fire departments, municipalities, First Nations, and nonprofits to match volunteers to critical needs. It will maintain the public registry of trained and available volunteers. It will offer accessible training in key areas like emergency response, community engagement, fire suppression, and flood assistance. It will provide a platform where people from across BC can sign up and get involved before the disaster hits, not just after. I want to take a moment to share another story. This one from last fall, while I was on the campaign trail. A devastating windstorm hit the communities of Westbridge, Christian Valley, and Beaverdell. This storm knocked out power across the entire region for over a week. For most people in that region, that meant no water. They ran their water on wells, and without electricity, they had no water. Those fortunate enough to have generators still faced a major challenge. Gas stations couldn't pump fuel without power, and the nearest fuel was often hours away on roads that were impassable. Highway 33 was closed in both directions. Hundreds of trees lay across the road. Power lines were down everywhere. And yet amid that chaos, something also truly remarkable happened. People pulled together, neighbors helped neighbors, and community members worked tirelessly to keep each other safe. But despite that incredible spirit, there were still gaps that we couldn't fill. There was no way to coordinate trained volunteers, people with chainsaw experience who could help clear the roads safely. There was no centralized system where residents could report their urgent needs, like fuel or potable water, and no way to efficiently match those needs with others in the region who were able to help. I had a constituent reach out to my office requesting water. I showed up with a few flats of water and quickly realized the need was well beyond a few flats of water, and I was able to coordinate in a pallet of water for the residents. But that's where the BC Volunteer Corps would have come in. They would have had access to that water in a neighboring community instantly. With a centralized registry of volunteers and needs across the region, the response wouldn't have been limited to just the communities that were impacted. It could have become a regional effort. Help from Midway, Rock Creek, Kelowna, and Osoyoos could have helped those residents and mobilized quickly. This is a blueprint for a stronger, safer community, especially in rural BC where we rely so heavily on one another. I also want to highlight a very thoughtful inclusion in the vision behind this bill, and that is the need to explore Good Samaritan legal protections for our volunteers. We all know how important it is that people feel safe to help without worrying about liability. If someone volunteers in good faith to support their community during an emergency, they should be protected, not punished. I would like to thank the member from West Kelowna Peachland who brings to this bill his experience as a former RCMP constable and auxiliary volunteer, understands what it means to serve on the ground. His vision is one of community-led resilience, and that means drawing on the knowledge and willingness already present in our communities. Imagine the potential. High school students getting certified in emergency preparedness, retirees finding renewed purpose as trained community responders, small businesses partnering to support response logistics in their area. It's about building a culture of readiness and civic pride. A better trained, better coordinated volunteer response can speed up recovery, reduce costs, and get communities back on their feet faster. This bill turns willingness into readiness. It gives structure to the instinct to serve. It gives our communities tools to be safe and strong, and it honors the spirit of volunteerism that is so deeply woven into the fabric of rural BC. Again, I want to thank the member from West Kelowna Peachland for bringing this forward and for his commitment to a vision of emergency response that begins with people helping people. I urge all members of this House to support Bill M208 and help us create a province that is not only prepared to face the next emergency, but ready to face it together. Thank you.